I was saying, Usher, but Rico from Street Scores and all of the Washington Commanders 2024 class rookies have officially gotten paid. Everybody has signed their contracts. Of course, we're going to dive into all of those deals, most notably Jayden Daniels' contract details. I also want to update y'all on not only the cap hits that all of these rookies will carry in the 2024 season, but also give y'all a Washington Commanders cap space update towards the end as well, just to see where we are. Do we have enough money to sign a guy at a particular position or not, all of that type of stuff. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned for all of the content. I have y'all covered for everything. Again, we don't have anything Commanders going on until training camp starts July 29th. Everybody's going on vacation. We're talking about the players, the coaches, everybody. But trust me, Rico of Street Scores has you. I'm coming with at least one video a day because I have so many video ideas and things like that. There's just no reason for me not to. So make sure you stay tuned. Even though the Commanders are going into a dip period, that does not mean Street Scores will. So make sure you stay tuned for all the video ideas I have, any updates that may come from this 6-week break that we have going on, anything. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this video, man. Let's get it. Adam. All right, so as of today, Friday, June 14th, even though I'm recording this at 11:43 p.m., so by the time y'all see this, it will technically be Saturday. But either way, as of Friday, June 14th, the Washington Commanders will have signed all of their rookies to their contracts. Now, granted, everybody else has signed their contracts at different times, but now we have officially gotten everybody done. As of Friday, Washington has finally signed the last 3 guys that were not signed yet as of Friday. Because Mike Sanford still signed his like over a week ago. Johnny Newton was a few days ago, and everybody else like been happened. And now we just wrapped up Jayden Daniels, Ben Sinnott, and Brandon Coleman today. And I'm happy that we got those out the way before everybody went on vacation. Most likely, a lot of those people are probably going to leave the DMV area. Like, people are about to be on vacation with their families, going to Disney World and things like that. You even have Jayden Daniels, who's already let y'all know in his press conference after practice on Wednesday that he's going back to Cali to train back home and things like that. So most people will more than likely not even be in the DMV area until we get closer to training camp, which again will be July 29th when it starts. So I'm glad that the Commanders went ahead and got everybody wrapped up before everybody went their separate ways, basically, because some teams out there still have yet to sign all of their rookies. And I remember like the Joey Bosa situation when he first got drafted. It was either him or Nick Bosa. One of them held out all the way until training camp as far as the rookie deal was going on there. So it can happen. I'm just happy that it's not happening to the Commanders. You would think it's just automatic. You draft the guys, you sign them, and it's that easy, but not necessarily. Sometimes those contract negotiations with certain things bleed all the way into like July. It's actually pretty crazy. So Jayden Daniels wise, we have officially signed Washington Commanders first round pick Jayden Daniels to a 4-year deal, fully guaranteed $37.7 million, which also includes a 5th-year option in 2028. And I'm hoping that Brandon Sosna, who we just hired a couple of weeks ago, is already the one putting these contracts together. Remember, Sosna was brought here from the Lions and USC. He's like a genius. He's like the next guy. He's the Sean McVay of the front office guys right now. Like literally the guy that everybody wants. He's the one that like facilitated the whole Lincoln Riley going to USC. He's the one that facilitated the USC going to the Big Ten and things like that. Like he's just like this genius behind the scenes. He's the one that signed all of these Lions players to these elite contracts to where they're getting paid a lot of money, and yet it doesn't hit the Lions cap space at all. So I'm happy that he's already here. I'm assuming that he had his hand in there somewhere, and I'm happy that he's already working to get some deals done. His first ones are with the rookie class. Can't wait to see what he does in free agency next year, but that'll have to wait. And just to remind you, Brandon Sosna is the team's senior vice president of football operations, and to remind you, Sosna will report directly to Washington Commanders general manager Adam Peters in his role as senior vice president of football operations. Sosna will be the club's lead contract negotiator, which proves my point about the rookie deals and why I can't wait till next free agency to see what he cooks up then, because we cooked this last free agency. Imagine what Brandon Sosna is going to put together next year. But either way, he'll also oversee a number of football operations departments, like including analytics with Eugene Shin and those guys, health and performance with Tim McGrath and those guys, and football administration, and will be one of the club's liaisons to the business operation as well. This guy will have his hand in everything that involves the Washington Commanders, on the field, off the field, business, analytics, health, everything possible, coaching. I mean, I'm telling you, he's the Sean McVay of guys. We probably had to give him all of those responsibilities just to entice him to come over here from the Detroit Lions. And I mean, with a guy that's supposedly as much of a genius as he is, you want him involved in all of these things. He will also play a major role in strategy around roster construction, the salary cap, and the CBA. So maybe it just took some time after we brought him in a couple of weeks ago to just finally get him to sit down and we start to do these negotiations with the rookies. That's why we're a little bit later than most of the league, but we're still ahead of some teams out there that have not yet finished signing all of their rookies to their rookie contracts. And I'm assuming, going back to the fifth-year option of Jayden Daniels, that we will pick that up when the time comes, when we get to that point. But let me not get ahead of myself, but I'm assuming that fifth-year option will not only cost a lot of money, but at the very least, it will cost less money than what he'll potentially be asking for on a per-year basis once we get to that point, if everything works out like I hope it does. Hopefully, Jayden Daniels balls out. Hopefully, Jayden Daniels leads us to a bunch of wins, playoff wins with Super Bowl contenders and things like that. And then the least of our worries, the biggest worry that we really have on our whole to-do list, is figure out how to give Jayden Daniels the money that he's asking for. I'm hoping that we reach the point that where he deserves ridiculous money. But again, just to remind y'all to not get too far ahead of myself, the Jayden Daniels era has officially started. QB1 officially locked in. Let's get it. Let's move on. Again, you also had Ben Sinnott that officially signed, and you also had Brandon Coleman to sign. I believe he was the very last one to sign, so I'm happy that we wrapped up the class. And just to let you know, the rookie contract salaries are slotted by pick. Various details within contracts are negotiated by the team and each player's agent. Jayden Daniels' agent is Ron Butler. Y'all remember that whole fiasco before the draft and things like that. So I know y'all remember that name, at Agent Butler. I know you at least remember the Twitter from all of the Twitter stuff going on. But either way, my point is that their cap hits are already calculated before the draft even happens. Like, before we even take these players, we already know what their cap hits are going to be just based on when they were drafted, what round, what pick, and all of that type of stuff. And basically, after all of that, since Jayden Daniels was drafted second overall in the first round, he will be a $6.863 million cap hit in 2024. So 2024-wise, that's how much Jayden Daniels will cost us. Less than $7 million. But that still makes Jayden Daniels the fifth highest cap hit on the entire Commanders team right now in this 2024 season, which is pretty interesting. That's more than everybody on the team but Terry McLaurin, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and Andrew Wiley. But that's still very cheap compared to what other teams are paying their starting quarterbacks right now. I mean, we all know your Super Bowl window is always at its best when your quarterback isn't eating up 30% of your cap space. When these quarterbacks are on their rookie deals and playing at an elite level, getting paid rookie deal money, that is your best opportunity to go make a Super Bowl run, to be completely honest with you, unless you're Pat Mahomes or you're Tom Brady that's willing to take a pay cut. It allows you to pay great players at other positions to build around that rookie contract quarterback. So let's hope that we can make some noise before we got to give them the big money, because we're already to the point where quarterbacks are out here, like Dak Prescott specifically, asking for $60 million a year right now. I think Trevor Lawrence got like $55 million a year in the contract that he just got a couple of days ago. Now imagine what the market will be in 5 years. It's going to be insane. So by the time Jayden Daniels is up for money again, my main thing is I hope he's balled out to the point and we can see him as our future franchise quarterback for this organization, to the point that we have to worry about giving him big money. That's a great problem to have, but nevertheless a road that we will have to cross, a bridge that we'll have to cross once we get there. But that's not something to worry about now. That's like 4 or 5 years from now. So just pointing that out, that we do have the fifth-year option. We can pick that up. Hopefully we do pick it up. We more than likely will, because I'm assuming that he will go out there and lead us to a bunch of wins and some playoffs. Now, Ben Sinnott, because he was a 53rd overall pick, he is a $1.314 million cap hit in 2024. And then Brandon Coleman, because he was the 67th overall pick, he will be a $1.101 million cap hit in 2024. And just to catch y'all up with the rest of the drafted rookie class, because I didn't necessarily do videos on those guys as well. So just to catch y'all up on all of those guys as well, Johnny Newton is a $1.774 million cap hit this season. Mike Sanford still is a $1.4 million cap hit this season. Luke McCaffrey is a $1.017 million cap hit. Jordan McGee is an $877,000 cap hit. Dominique Hampton is an $873,000 cap hit. And lastly, Javonte John Baptiste is an $825,000 cap hit. So that wraps up the entire rookie class right there as far as cap hits go. So after you add in all of the rookie cap hits, we still have $27.26 million worth of cap space for the entire team. And that's kind of just like a general estimate that I'm throwing out there because the numbers run a little bit deeper and things can change. But just know we have somewhere around $27 million worth of cap space. Now, of course, you don't want to go and spend all of that this offseason. You would like to carry a lot of that into the next offseason as well. But that's more than enough money that if you want to go sign a veteran or two because we feel like we need one at, say, maybe left tackle because nobody stepped up to the plate. Brandon Coleman isn't ready. Cornelius Lucas can't run block. Trent Scott can't pass block. Can't pass protect Jayden Daniels. You know, at a certain point, maybe we go get like a David Bakhtiari or maybe a DJ Humphries, whoever. And then, of course, even though I don't necessarily feel like we need him, because I feel like, honestly, like the safety position that we have right now is arguably one of the most talented and deepest position groups we have on our entire roster. But All-Pro Jason Simmons, who Adam Peters himself drafted back in 2016 when he was Denver's, I believe, director of pro scouting or something like that, one of their lead scout guys that helped make their draft decisions. I mean, that connection is strong there, and he would also be a great fit for our defense, even though I just don't see us getting him because the safety talent in this room that we have right now is actually really good. A lot of young guys, not a lot of experience there, but a lot of versatility, athleticism, and talent that I'm really excited to go out there and display them, especially as early as training camp, those joint practices and going into the preseason. I can't wait to see what the safety group looks like out there. So maybe we don't get him because we don't necessarily need him, but that is an all-pro safety just out there chilling. Maybe he's cheaper than what you'd hope. And then you never know. Maybe we want to bring in like a veteran wide receiver, somebody with some height to him, because right now, as far as 53-man roster predictions go, our tallest receiver will probably end up being rookie wide receiver Luke McCaffrey. Now, we do have a lot of tall people in our tight end room, but receiver-wise, is Luke McCaffrey is 6'2", and everybody else is shorter than him. You have Bryson Tremaine, but again, I'm projecting him to more than likely make the practice squad. Even though he has been sticking out a little bit so far in off-season practices, he's been making plays. He even caught a touchdown from Jayden Daniels, I believe, the last day of mandatory minicamps. But maybe you want to use some of that cap space to go get a veteran wide receiver. You never know. Or even like a veteran outside corner. Still one of our biggest question marks on the roster right now. If you don't truly think that Emmanuel Forbes is ready to step up big time, and you just can't solely depend on Michael Davis and Benjamin St. Juste. Tariq Castro-Fields has been making plays, but do you see him as a slot corner? Where do you actually see him at? But as of so far in this offseason, he's been making plays and showing that he's not just a really fast guy. He's a guy that's learning how to read quarterbacks and make breaks on balls and things like that. So maybe you want to go and get a Stephon Gilmore who's still available, even though he will be like 34 years old. But either way, my main point is I'm not doing like a full breakdown on the best free agents available. My point is there are some guys out there that are at certain positions that are available that we may not necessarily be too comfortable with, and you have the cap space to go get those guys if you really, really, really want to. Now, lastly, before we get up out of here, I just thought this picture of Jayden Daniels talking to Andrew Wiley was so funny because it literally looks like he's saying to him, boy, you better not let them come hit me from that right side. You better block your tail off because I'm going to need you. I'm expecting big things from you. It looked like he had to literally pull him to the side and let him know, hey, man, I'm going to need you this season. I do not need you looking like the first half of the 2023 version of yourself. I'm going to need that second half of the 2023 season last year version of yourself. And if anything, I need improvement from there. It looks like Jayden Daniels literally walking up to him and telling him, hey, man, I'm going to need you on point. And then also, have y'all seen the way that Jayden Daniels looks in Madden 25, man? If you haven't seen it yet, here's a picture right here. And I have no idea why they have him built like this. I have zero idea what led them to build Jayden Daniels like this. I know a lot of people were complaining about him being too smart leading up to the draft, and even after we drafted him, it looks like Madden went ahead and corrected that for him themselves. They made him look like he weighs about 250. I don't know what happened with the player design there. It looks like everybody else is fairly normal, even though they hate it. Like Drake May's character does not look like, that's not his face. That's his build. That's not his face. I don't even know what they tried to do with JJ McCarthy, but Jayden Daniels is the most oddly built. Like, he's just way bigger in Madden than he is in real life. I don't know what calculations went into that, but either way, I just wanted y'all to see that before we got up out of here. Didn't really have much to do with everything else, but I just thought that was funny. I wanted to point that out. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please still follow that like button, still follow the subscription button, still follow the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned for all of the content. I'm working on a video that's going to come out tomorrow. That's going to basically be like a full breakdown and review of the entire mandatory minicamp from a micro standpoint. You know, we did individual micro breakdowns of each day. Now we're going to take a step back, look at the overall of what happened. We're going to do some stock ups and stock downs. What are some stocks that went up after mandatory minicamp compared to where they were before the start of mandatory minicamp, and what stocks went down? What do we still have some concerns and question marks about as far as the team goes heading into training camp, this 6-week break and then training camp? So be on the lookout for that video and a lot more videos like that on the way. I'm super excited. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Do not leave this video without leaving a like, and of course, definitely let me know in the comment section how you feel about us finally wrapping up these rookies. How do you feel about their deals? How do you feel about their cap hits? All of that type of stuff. And are there some veterans out there that you want to target at particular positions? Let me know all of that. I'm going to try my best to read and reply to as many comments as possible. I really appreciate y'all. I'm going to catch y'all later. I'm out.